reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
You're logging into your favorite game, grinding out some gear. A couple of points added to your stats, and you have a virtual beer. Max level is pretty cool, but I'll remind you here, my friend. These games are not about the goal, it's about the journey and not the end.
You're listening to MMO Reporter on the MMO Reporter Network, brought to you by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapons with Doghouse Systems. Audible, find your next great read at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter, and by GoDaddy. Put your website to work while you play.
Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your ults.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of MMO Reporter. This is episode 201, the one after nothing fancy happened. I am Chris, and of course, I am joined by star of stage and screen, the funniest man I know, called Harry, who lives in the Netherlands, who happens to podcast with me, who also plays MMO games and likes Guild Wars 2, and also likes to get up early in the morning. Hi, Harry.
That could mean anybody. I mean, that's anybody. So broad.
I know, right? So,
Yeah,
you're my favorite one of those.
I'm so happy. I'm very flattered.
You should be. That's a very big compliment. I hope you realize what a big compliment that was.
It was.
Good.
It was huge. It was absolutely huge.
That's what she said.
My day is good.
All right, we've got some news to talk about, and this is going to be quite a discussion-heavy day. We've got some stories that will allow us to pontificate. And I am sad because the pontificator-in-chief of the MMO Reporter Network is absent tonight. No Bill tonight. That makes me sad. We miss Bill. He was here last week, and of course, Layanor is still on holidays. Looking forward to having him back in a couple of weeks. Let's get right into what we've been doing, shall we, Harry? I have a problem.
I'm aware that. Which one in specific are you talking about now?
I have unlocked almost every class in Dragon Age Inquisition multiplayer.
Then you have a problem. Did you finish the single player story?
No.
So you're playing more multiplayer Dragon Age than. Oh my God! You do. You actually. I wanted to joke. You really do have a problem. This is a problem. This is the definition of a problem.
But it's so much fun. Oh
Look
my
a problem
goodness.
in the dictionary.
There's my picture. Hi.
There's your picture.
And I just waved at my monitor, just so everybody knows. No camera, but I still waved. Wow. And I haven't even played. I've been playing my Arcane Warrior since I unlocked him. I did. You know that you are into a game when your playtime is dictated by in-game events. And so I did spend a bunch of time grinding out enough mats for the crafting to unlock the Qatari, which can wield two-handed weapons, because this last weekend was a two-handed weapon, like greatsword weekend, and I had to kill a whole bunch of things using greatswords, and I didn't have any characters who could use greatswords, and I could get a chest out of it, Harry. A commendation chest, which has lots of sweet loot in it. And so I did. I ground that out with my Arcane Warrior and played the Qatari, which I'm not really in love with. It's really slow. It hits like a truck, like several trucks backing over you repeatedly. But I just don't like it's too slow, and like you're swinging this big-ass sword all the time. And I tried for a little bit with the sledgehammer as well. And it's the same thing. It's just really, really slow. It just hits hard, right?
Chris,
That's how the balance
Chris,
is. Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
Dragon Age is a single-player RPG. This is the bonus option. This isn't the main part of the game.
So I have a problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is like buying bubblegum for the pictures that come.
Those are
with
really
them.
good jokes.
Okay.
But it is fun, and I've been having lots of fun, and I've been streaming it a lot, and people like it. And I had a great conversation with someone the other day in the stream about...
On the PSN? Oh, in the
No.
stream. Okay.
No. No, I don't, and I don't chat with people in game. I'm too much of a hermit for that.
Nobody talks in game anymore. But they did when the Xbox Live service on 360 got started because everybody had headsets.
Yeah.
And that meant just everybody finally had a way of expressing all that profanity that they built up over the years. they couldn't use in polite conversation. Now is their chance. I think everybody got it out of the collective systems, and now everybody there's deadly silence.
You know what? I've got a thought about that. I'll talk about it in a minute when I talk about WoW, but it'll be somewhat similar. It came, my PS4 came with a little microphone and earbuds, and I could be talking.
I know.
I'm not. And I've got, actually, when I stream through the PlayStation, I actually really enjoy using my Logitech G35 headset. It's a USB headset. Plugs in nicely, works really, really well, gets great sound. And actually, to be blunt, when I'm playing PS4, I prefer streaming from the PS4. It's just a really, really stable stream out to everyone. And plus, the automatic inclusion of the stream chat in there is really nice. So I really like that, and I do that. But I still haven't figured out the whole am I talking to the rest of the people in my group thing. And I need to figure that out soon. Because then I'll keep streaming from the PS4. And then I get the bonus of having anyone who's on a PS4 watching my stream too. Yeah, so I really do have a problem. I need to fix that. But I have other problems too, Harry. Not just that.
That's good. I hope the next problem is a little bit more interesting. Healthy.
I need your help with Elite Dangerous because I'm just not outfitting my ship right, and I'm screwing up something somewhere, and I'm just not able to fire. Because what I did was because I got my big Type 9, right? And because I wanted to try out mining, I put a couple of mining lasers up at the front, and then every other one I put like turrets and stuff, right? Because they could move around and could fire. I can't get them to fire at all.
Did you put them in fire groups?
Yes.
Okay. Did you prioritize?
I don't know what that means.
Okay, that's your problem. If you have too many pieces of equipment fitted under your ship, every piece of equipment, be it a turret, be it a scoop, whatever, an engine, life support, it asks for power. And in your right display screen, which is under your 4 button, you can actually set priorities for your systems, and anything that's priority 1 or 2 will always be functioning, and priority 3 will be disconnected once power runs out.
Okay.
And that automatically solves the problem. For example, if you have a fuel scoop, you don't need it if you are using your weapons.
Right.
Usually. So you put your fuel scoop on priority 3, which means that once you deploy hardpoints, when you pull out your weapons, your fuel scoop will be deactivated, and if the power runs low, and you will still be able to fire. And once you withdraw your hardpoints, your fuel scoop will come back online. So you need to prioritize your power settings, and you also need to tie your lasers to a fire button. So you have fire groups and you have fire buttons.
I thought I had that. I may not. I'll go in and look again.
You have these lines, and you have these columns for your weapons. Let's say you have 2 turrets and a mining laser. And if you have only that, you can put them on the same fire group. And for example, you can put the two turrets under your fire button 1 and your mining laser under fire button 2, which is your thumb button in the setup you have.
Okay.
But if you add them to a new fire group, then you have to switch fire groups with the N key. So you move to an entire set of weapons that you have to.
I thought I'd gotten all that. I'll take a look at it again and see if I can figure that out. But
fascinating radio.
I think I'm going to switch out and park my Type 9 for a while because I'm just not enjoying. I tried mining, not for me. I tried
mining is a side activity. Yeah.
I tried trading, not for me. I'm it's same reason I don't play the auction house. I just don't have the patience to go through and find my best route and look for stuff. So I'm gonna rebuild a combat ship, and I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna play this like it's X-Wing versus TIE Fighter with an expanded universe. Maybe like Privateer. That would be good.
Actually, that's one of the main paths to choose.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's the combat is fantastic.
And that's where I'm gonna go, and I'll try that.
Have you done any conflict zones yet?
None, because I can't figure out how to fire my weapons, and so I've decided not to go into those, not knowing how to fire my weapons.
Yeah.
I thought
It
that'd be a
helps to
smart
be
move.
Good, yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I moved into some WoW time as well. Actually, while playing Dragon Age Inquisition on my main screen, I'd have WoW up on my secondary monitor to do my garrison stuff.
Okay, that's just disgusting.
But on top of that, I also ran a few LFGs. And I had, not an epiphany, but a thought as I ran through. And I have had nothing but positive experiences with LFGs as I have gone through Warlords of Draenor. Nothing but positive experiences. I had one guy saying, send me a message. I was tanking along, and he sends me a message, we need to kick the healer. I said, why? He doesn't know how to heal, because we had wiped once. I said, no, let's give him some tips. Make some suggestions. Oh, he's a druid healer. You should be able to heal no matter what. I said, no, I'm not going to kick him. Let's give him some tips and make it work out. He's like, fine, I'll give him some tips. And then he did. And then it was great. We finished the dungeon. Woohoo. And that was the only time I've had...
You're saying somebody changed his mind in World of Warcraft?
Well, not necessarily changed his mind, but more necessarily didn't want to go through the hassle if I wasn't just going to go along with it. And I came to a thought, and I thought, all those little, lack of a better term, asshats that we played with going through Wrath, who were absolute jerks. Wrath was what? Like 6 years ago? 4 years ago? 5 years ago? What is that?
Something like that, yeah.
Right? 5-6 years ago. So those 14-year-old dweebs that were running through LFGs, or, that sort of age group, are now in their 20s or in college. And if they were in college, they're now in their late 20s, mid to late 20s. And
7 years old is the expansion, 7 years ago. So yeah.
So
you're completely right. Yeah.
Time has passed, and I don't think WoW is picking up as many young people as it is simply having people who played it before come back. I think that is probably a much larger portion of the population than new people saying, hey, let's try out WoW. And so this population has aged and is no longer interested in being said asshats. And I like that a lot.
But that messes with my opinion that everybody who was once an idiot is always an idiot.
They grew up, Harry.
No, I don't believe that. People don't grow up. People don't change.
No, you're thinking you don't grow up, Harry.
I'm not Peter Pan, damn it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so I really have had nothing but positive experiences, and I'm really impressed with that. And I think it's really cool.
I'm actually happy to hear that, because now I want to play World of Warcraft again. Well,
It's
happy is
too
not the
bad.
word. Scared.
It's too bad that we can't get you onto a U.S. server. You don't have a character on a U.S. server, do you?
I started playing on a US server many, 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 many years ago until I found out that I rolled on a US server and couldn't actually pay.
Oh,
I didn't know. I didn't know that I was locked out.
I wonder if your Blizzard connections could help us out with that. Get you onto.
I know. Actually, I know I can't. Because
Oh.
I once got a 1 year World of Warcraft time card when I also got the murky pets at Blizzard for they just gave it to me just because something went wrong with an interview. They were very nice and very friendly.
Yeah.
And they gave me a stack of cards, and one of them was a 1 year time card, which I can't use because it's on the EU and it's not on the US, not on the EU. I even asked support. It's not possible. There's just a big segregation between US and EU players.
Two things. Number one, you know where my email address is. You can send that card anytime. Number two, then how do I keep hearing about UK players who have bought a US copy of the game?
Well, yeah, if you buy a copy, yeah, of course, then you can do
Okay.
that. I mean, you get today it's easier than back then. 7 years, 8 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, I can buy a US copy of the game and buy US time cards. I can do that. I'm
Okay.
not going to.
Okay. Just checking. You can send me your time card, though. I'm good.
Okay.
So, thanks. Can I have your stuff? And then I got a text message in the middle of dinner a couple days ago saying, hey, we got 4 out of 5 to kill Zaitan. You want to kill Zaitan in Guild Wars 2? I'm like, okay, cool. So I went in and killed Zaitan. It was fun. We had to do a little bit of a run because the one person didn't have all the waypoints, but it was fun.
I never killed Zaitan.
No? It's
I
a
never
fun
finished
fight.
Yeah, I never. That's the last dungeon I still have to do in the run.
That's a fun fight.
I really have to get back into Guild Wars 2.
Yeah, you do. What has been keeping you busy, keeping you out of Guild Wars 2, though, Harry?
Well, several things, really. First, I still played Splinter Cell because you have to kill those U.S. terrorists from before they blow up something. I don't know. I don't follow the plot, really. I just like hunting and
stuff.
killing people. Yeah, well,
I understand.
The one I'm playing is Splinter Cell Conviction, and the more I play, the more it's almost like Batman Arkham Asylum in the sense that you're hunting from the dark.
Okay.
There isn't a no-kill victory. It's just if it moves, you can kill it.
Got
And
it.
there's no penalty for that. So I like that because that means I don't have to think about the non-lethal path. I can just use my gadgets and
You could just kill everything.
do it. I kill everything. Yeah, exactly. Which was an interesting preparation for what I had to do last Friday because I had to go to Paris. And if you might have heard about the terrible, cowardly, horrible attacks on Charlie Hebdo, the magazine, on Wednesday, where terrorists killed 12 people, cartoonists. I saw the news, and I was aware at that time already that I had to go to Paris the next Friday. So I was kind of like, okay, this is weird. I'm going to I'm not going away from the terrorists. I'm walking towards them. And I got an email from the very nice PR person from the company that I shall not name because the entire game is under NDA. But the person emailed me and said, "Don't worry, those attacks happened at least 30 kilometers from where we have your appointment set up." To which my reply was, okay, that's a relief because everybody knows that terrorists always strike at the exact same spots over and over again. But again, I thought I was joking, so I thought, okay, this is going to be fine. It will be fine. Something terrible happened. What are the odds of something terrible happening in the same city twice? Turned out, Friday after, 2 hostage situations in Paris at the exact same time that I was there. And I had an iPhone with me, so I was aware of every incident, every roadblock, every shot fired while I was in the biggest city of the world, one of the most beautiful cities in the world, Paris. Which was a very, very strange and very stressing
Very
experience.
surreal, I bet that would have been. Because
is.
we're all used to being outside of... the world is so big, yet so small due to the internet, due to news coverage, all that sort of stuff. But all these horrible things tend to happen somewhere else, not where we are.
Yeah, and the thing was, once the first terrible, and I cannot stress it enough, cowardly, horrible attack happened, of course, my first reaction was, I don't want to really go to Paris, and I'm not going to paint myself courageous or anything, but I also had this feeling like if I do that, then somebody has won something. I don't know what. If I stay away, so I felt like I had to go anyway.
Yeah.
Even though it's something very small and trivial. I mean, I went to Paris for video games. Damn it! I mean, I wasn't there to change the world.
Yeah.
But it was a very surreal situation. And I was walking through the city. I saw hundreds of French policemen with heavy weapons, and it's as I said, it's walking towards the disaster zone rather than walking away from it, and that's scary. But it was in the end, the actual interview I had with 2 Japanese developers was definitely worth going there. It wasn't worth sacrificing my life for that, but it was definitely worth the interview. But It's just if you get that close, it's so weird.
Yeah. Oh, I totally feel for you. That would have been very, very not awkward's the wrong word. I don't think there are right words for what that probably would have been like.
I was just sorry that I couldn't be there on the big march that they had the day after, because then
I was impressed, and we're on a bit of a tangent here, folks. Bear with us for a minute. I was impressed with the amount of people that came together, not in numbers, but in diversity. I think that's what really got to me. It wasn't just a ginormous crowd. It was a ginormously diverse crowd. I thought, one picture that stuck in my mind was two people standing next to each other with signs, one saying, I'm a Jew and I love Muslims, and the other one was, I'm a Muslim and I love Jews. Right?
Yeah, but it's just, you have to, I hope people realize that being Muslim doesn't equate to being a murderous idiot.
Agreed.
I mean, if you let's put it. I saw a picture on Facebook that summed it up for me. I mean, if you look at the Ku Klux Klan, they don't represent all Christians.
Neither does the Westboro Baptist Church.
No, I'm just saying. I mean,
but I completely agree. Right? You can't equate the actions of a few with the beliefs of the many.
No, and there are so many Muslim countries that are doing fine it's not a Muslim thing. It's a violent idiot thing.
Yeah. Well, we are going to do our best to try and give you some news, try and give you some laughs, and
I was just.
No, don't apologize. I mean, it's a perfectly valid thing for us to talk about. Whenever something big like this happens, I think you got to acknowledge it. You have to voice your thoughts, and then we get back to what we do best, which is sound like idiots.
Yeah,
we were smart for a couple minutes, and we'll stop.
I will just continue on the gaming things because I backed a Kickstarter game and I'm damn proud.
You what?
Well, we have this misunderstanding that I'm against Kickstarter. I'm not against Kickstarter. I am against giving Activision money for a game like Call of Duty before the game is out and buying it in advance blindly. That's pre-ordering.
Okay.
Kickstarter is saying, okay, you have an idea. I don't know if it's going to work, but I like where you're going with this. I'll give you some money to make it, and I'll be happy to see the game whenever it's finished. And I'm aware of all the risks and all the problems that might arise while developing this game. And disclaimer, this is different than just giving Activision money blindly.
Oh,
That's
good.
the difference.
No, I just wanted to make sure that you were smart about this. That is the correct way to look at a Kickstarter. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Harry Hall.
Thank you. And this would be the time to use a soundboard for a big round of applause. Or have an actual studio audience. I can live with that. The game I backed is called Into the Stars. It's kind of like the way I see it, and I put a link in the show notes. It's kind of a cross between Elite Dangerous and FTL. FTL is the roguelike Star Trek simulator that's playable on PC and on iPad. iPad version is, by the way, far superior.
I agree. I love that was my whole bus ride to on the band trip last year was FTL.
Yeah, and it's an amazing game, and they've turned it 3D. And the idea is you pilot a ship, you captain a ship, I should say, and you have this view of the bridge with all your crewmen and crewwomen standing around doing their things, like in Star Trek, obviously. And you have to manage them and their assignments, as well as command the ship and doing the alien battles and trying to communicate with other aliens and explore sectors of space. And it's a very cool concept, and it looks gorgeous, and the music is composed by the same guy who did the music for Mass Effect.
Oh, nice.
So I saw a little write up about the game, and I thought, what the hell? It's worth $25 just to see this made. This is a hairy game. I mean, this is the type of game I want to play.
Oh, I assumed it was just full of hair.
That too, because
good.
Crewmen have hairstyles, and that makes it even better. So that's Into the Stars. And to cap this off, I just played 2 delightful little puzzle games. The first is Luminosity. You might pronounce it. It's 2 words, Lumino City, and a friend of mine pointed out to me that it's pronounced Luminosity. Yay! It's kind of the art style is gorgeous. This is a point-and-click adventure game, just like the old ones. You have to collect items and combine them and solve little puzzles to progress. But the art style, they created this world out of cardboard, and they made these big models of the city, and photographed and filmed it. So it's not just digitized. You actually see camera motions, you see different angles, and it works with it changes the depth of field, like you're looking at an actual cardboard world. And it is so cute. It's so fantastically realized. The art style is amazing. Nice little soundtrack, nice little puzzles. I mean, it's not the deepest game in the world, but if you want to play something that's just beautiful, Luminosity. And finally, the Talos Principle. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
I have.
It's basically a Portal type first-person 3D puzzle game without the portal gun. Instead of the portal gun, you have all kinds of environmental puzzles like force fields and guardian robots, and you have to move little gadgets that either deflect laser beams or disrupt force fields or disrupt those guardian robots. And in that way, you have to move yourself through the areas. Find little Tetris-like puzzle blocks, and if you have enough of those, you can open up the next area. And woven through it is this philosophical story about some entity that calls itself Elohim, which is basically the name of God. And what you are is not completely clear. You're either a robot or you're something else. It's not. That's the big mystery of the game, and it's not as funny as Portal. I would say there's not that much humor in it at all, but the atmosphere is fantastic. It looks great, and it's a fantastic puzzler. It's just one of those games like Portal that makes you feel very smart once you've solved something.
Awesome. Yeah, we're taking a look at the video as you speak here, so it looks really interesting.
It is very interesting.
There's a companion cube type thingy.
Well, no, not everything has its function. There's no companion cube in. Just one little caveat. I tried this on my MacBook Pro Retina with Iris graphics processor. It doesn't work. You either need a Macintosh computer that has its dedicated graphics card, like an NVIDIA card inside, or you need a PC, because somehow it doesn't work on the non-NVIDIA Macs. So just don't buy it if you have that.
Interesting. Okay. Good to know. All right. Is that everything that kept you busy in game?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Just going to make a quick mention of our Patreon campaign, patreon.com/MMO Reporter. Go check that out if you want to support what we're doing. Our next goal is to the release of songs. So go check it out and check out some of our other goals, including going ad-free for the entire network and a patron-only podcast. So go check that out, patreon.com/MMO Reporter. Now it's time to move on to the news.
And that brings us to our first story of the day of our fantastically long-running show, and that's Elder Scrolls Online. Elder Scrolls Online is a so-so big-scale MMO, which, in my opinion, didn't really didn't actually do what it promised to do. It said it was going to be a good Elder Scrolls game, and it said it's going to be a good MMO. And I think neither one of those elements really took off that well, and they don't mesh. That's the big problem. I think I'm not the only one, because the game hasn't been doing as good as they expected over at Bethesda. And now they apparently have removed the option for players to buy more than 3 months of subscription at a time. They removed the 6-month subscription option from their store. And not only that, in Australia, Elder Scrolls Online is completely removed from store shelves. So all the boxes, all the time cards are removed from the stores. And it's actually fanning the flames of rumor that Elder Scrolls Online is moving towards a free-to-play model.
Or a buy-to-play or some variation thereof.
I would love this game to be buy-to-play. I think that would be awesome. Every flaw the game has would be almost instantly forgiven if I were able to buy this game for, let's say, 60 euros or 50 euros and just play this game at my leisure and do the things I want to do in Elder Scrolls. And I could deal with all the other crap that the game throws at me. They can patch it if they would. I don't have to deal with the subscription anymore.
Yeah.
And if they don't have and if they have some items or some services that you can buy, like inventory space or whatever, have my money.
Like
please.
Guild Wars 2?
For example, yeah. That's a perfect... Guild Wars 2 invites me to do some microtransactions because it's convenient. I have space in my bags. I'm running out of space. I can buy some more space. It's not a big deal. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I agree. I think buy to play would be a much better option than free to play for Elder Scrolls Online, because I think that it gives the developer a little bit more funds, and therefore the microtransactions do not have to be as deeply ingrained. The only way for a free-to-play game to work is if at some point to really play the game right, you need to buy something. Otherwise, it doesn't really work. Even Lotro, which I think has a really good free-to-play model, does have some aspects that you really just need to buy, right? Questing, for example. Rift also has a very generous free-to-play model, but you know you are not at a disadvantage in leveling, but those who do pay are at such an advantage, and there is tons of stuff to buy in their store that is not available any other way. So, yeah, I think buy to play would allow players to jump in and explore the game, like you mentioned, at their leisure, and really get a better experience than I think the sub currently allows them to. And I hate to say that because I was really rooting for Elder Scrolls Online and WildStar. I'm not a fan of everything being free to play. I think that the integration of the stores into every single freaking aspect of the game is annoying. I don't want to see that. I'd rather pay something. Like if I pay in Lotro, I'd like to see all those store adverts gone. Thank you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right?
I have a lifetime subscription. I get a stipend of 500 Turban points per month.
Yeah.
I don't need to buy anything, so please don't ask me to buy anything.
Right.
I'm not going to.
And I think that's where Guild Wars 2 gets it great. They push it on their social media. They push it in their update notes. They push it on everything like that. They don't push it in the game.
I want to say though that I also would have loved Elder Scrolls to have succeeded. Because I would have loved this game. If they did it right, if they went somewhere special, did something extraordinary, I would have been so happy to pay a monthly fee for that. But the game just isn't good enough. It doesn't compete well to actual free-to-play games. It has fundamental gameplay flaws. It's not just that the game is sometimes less fun, it's broken.
Not anymore. I think they've done a lot of patch fixes in the last few months. I'm looking forward to the release on consoles to see what the game is like. I'm saving I've been meaning to jump back in, but I think I'm going to save it for when it comes out on console to get that experience.
I'm talking about the fact that you have people in different phases of quests still visible but unable to cooperate with them. Things like that are basic gameplay flaws.
Yeah, that was at launch. I think they've put in a lot of work at bug fixes since then.
Well, I really hope they did, because if there's if the game comes out on console, I'd be happy to give it another go, especially if it's going to be buy to play.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. Let's move on to our next story here, talking about my darling of PAX 2014, and that's Shadow Realms. There's some rumors, completely unconfirmed, although substantiated over at Kotaku by apparently a couple different sources, and then also reported over on PC Gamer, that Shadow Realms is getting a reboot. They're going back to the drawing board a little bit, and the game is pushed back to 2017. Oh, that hurts me. This was one that, and I think we're all allowed every once in a while, people who cover games, one of those fanboy moments. Gabe, for you, it was Guild Wars 2. You were right in there post-launch of the game. I was right there with WildStar. And this game was going to be my next fanboyish type game. And every time I play through a match of Dragon Age Inquisition, which has the match structure, at least, those missions, it's basically the same structure that Shadow Realms had at PAX, and it was fun. So much fun. The idea of it being pushed back to 2017 is disheartening, unfortunately, but again, at the same time, I'm perfectly okay with it because I want to play a game that's going to be successful. I want it to be successful if it needs more time.
But the problem is 2017 is a post-apocalyptic year. I mean, it's the year of barbed wire.
Oh,
it's the year
right.
of Cherry 2000. It's the year of Oblivion. It's the year, and this one tickles me, 2017 is the year of The Running Man. The Schwarzenegger movie. Yes.
Barring the apocalypse, they've talked about things like the reasons for this being that they want some more integration with EA's Origin stuff.
I think that's I've perfect Wikipedia, Running Man. In 2017, after a worldwide economic collapse caused by Origin, no, actually, no, I'm sorry.
You almost made me spit my water all across my brand new monitor, you jerk.
It needed cleaning anyway. But don't you? Just little tangent. We have reached years.
This is the year of Back to the Future 2.
This finally is the year of Back to. We've seen so many bad Photoshops over the years. Oh my God, 2013. No, 2015 is the year of Back to the Future 2. November 5th, 2015 is when Marty McFly arrives. We will have hoverboards, flying cars, and video games.
Clothes.
You don't need. Sorry?
Self-drying clothes.
Self-drying clothes, power laces.
Yeah, I want power laces.
Damn. I still want power laces.
I might take that over a hoverboard.
I would too. I'm 42. I don't think I would look good on a hoverboard.
Okay, so back to Shadow Realms. Apparently, games that use those systems more tightly integrated get a bigger budget. And this is why I hate stuff like Origin and those proprietary stuff. It's just like, oh, hey, if you integrate this more into your game, this thing that I don't love Origin. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I use it because I have to when I want to buy digital games from EA because they don't put it on Steam. Rather use Steam. But anyways, This seems like a dumb version.
This is what everybody says about Origin. I'd rather use Steam.
Yeah.
It's just, this is a fact of life, and it takes some time for EA to accept that they don't rule the world of digital PC purchases.
Because they offer nothing unique.
Then there's nothing you need there.
They offer, hey, look, we do everything Steam does. Ta-da, jazz hands. We're good. Seriously. Oh, that didn't work? Fine. We'll just pull all of our digital games from any other source. You can buy them here or nowhere. How do you like them apples?
Yeah.
After my big show number, that's what I get. Yeah.
Well, I agree with you.
Jazz hands and everything. Come on.
I do approve of the jazz hands.
Oh, good. Good.
I was never able to really do jazz hands because you have to move both hands at the same pace. My right hand always goes quicker than my left. I can't do jazz hands.
I'm not gonna add to that comment, Harry. All right.
I'm happy because I realized what I said. Please, let's move the frig on.
All right, we got to talk about our sponsors, GoDaddy. GoDaddy has been our host of the MMO Reporter Network since before they were our sponsor. You can go check them out if you need a new domain, $1.49 for your new .com domain. Just use the coupon code MMO149 or use the code MMO30 for 30% off your entire order. You want to get some hosting? You want to get a couple domains? You want to do something else? MMO30 will get you 30% off your entire order, so go check that out. Of course, Audible, audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter for 1 free month of Audible service. That gets you 1 free audiobook. There are tons of great audiobooks on there. Go check them out if you want to listen to your next read. And of course, Doghouse Systems, doghousesystems.com. Go and use the coupon code MMO Reporter, and they will double your RAM. That's right, double your RAM. And you will get an awesome system. I know that Carrie absolutely loves her Doghouse system. Now, Harry, how's Destiny going?
Yes. Well, my destiny is that I'm not playing it anymore. And apparently there are some other people considering not playing it anymore because it's easy to cheat. I don't think I can put it any different than that. The latest of the 2 raids in the game can be exploited like there's no tomorrow. There is this trick you can do to make the big end boss basically freeze in its place by ripping out your connection for a second.
Internet connection. Yeah, but here's the thing. They fixed Vault of Glass, so you can't do the cheese that you used to be able to. But they have yet to fix Crota. And so, at the very right moment, has to be the team leader. If you rip out your internet connection, then and then come back in, you will pause him at a certain part of the fight, and you can take him down. I think it's supposed to be a 20-minute fight or something, and you can do it in 4 minutes.
The problem that there's this article, there's this user blog post on Kamasutra that goes into detail why it's so terrible that cheating exists in Destiny, and Bungie should use the banhammer and do something and fix it. And what my main question is why cheat in a game like that? I remember when the Loot Cave came out. I'm saying it like it was 10 years ago.
Back in the day, when
back in 2014, they had this Loot Cave where if you stood at a certain spot, you could fire into a cave that spawned enemies, and enemies just kept spawning if you didn't cross a certain line. So what happened was you shot them and they dropped loot. Good loot. So everybody was standing in the same spot, shooting at the cave until the entire cave was filled with treasure. Then you ran up to it, grabbed all the loot, grabbed all the new ammo that dropped as well, go back to the spot and repeat. And I did that for 5 minutes. Was bored out of my brain. And I thought, why the hell am I doing this? This is not fun. I'm not playing. If you are so desperate for a loot drop, then I think there is something physically wrong with your brain, because you're playing this game for the experience of beating something, of achieving something, of having this adrenaline boost, this playing with your friends thing. You're not honestly playing a game like Destiny just to get something with different stats, are you? If you
Yes.
really are, if you are playing just for that, then there is something wrong with you. I mean, if that is all you take from it, I'm not saying loot isn't important. I think it's nice to have a reward. If you beat a boss, you want this reward to cap off the experience. Like, oh my god, I got this new thing. But you're not. It's not. It shouldn't be that the entire boss fight should be something. Oh my god, I hate this fight so much. Oh, I'm bored. Oh, this is so. I'm wasting an hour of my life beating this boss. Oh, thank God, I got something with higher numbers on it. If that's the thing, then something is wrong.
I don't disagree with you. That being said, yes, that is how a lot of people play the game. That is why they play the game.
Then they are stupid. They are stupid. They are wasting their life. If all you are doing is slogging through an activity you hate to get something that has no value or meaning, then you are stupid. And I've played World of Warcraft and Lord of the Rings online. What am I saying?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I play a lot of MMOs, and I like getting that new piece of hotness with the better stats. But I like the games. That's why that's why Elite Dangerous I'm looking for something to have fun with, because right now the activities that I've tried, while they could be very beneficial, and trading is the lowest risk, highest reward thing that you can do in the game. You will make the most money trading, and it's got the lowest risk. But I'm not going to do it because I can't stand that. So I play MMOs. I love getting the stats, but I play it for the game, and I hope everybody does.
Yeah, and you play it for the social interaction. You play it to not let your friends down, which is also a valid reason. You might not want to play a raid today, but you want to help your friends out. There's so many good reasons to play these games.
Yeah,
but doing something you dislike to get something that is not worth anything.
That being said, I've been known to grind some rep. I've been known to grind out some crafting. I mean, has anybody ever fished in WoW? Can you call it anything but grinding?
But I don't think grinding is in itself, I mean, it is used as a negative term, as a pejorative. Oh my god, this game is so grindy. But people, if you are really honest, and I think this goes for everybody who's done this, people like grinding because there is some fun, some kind of meditative experience into doing something that is repetitive, easy, and gives you a slow feeling of progression. I'm not saying it's the most intellectually stimulating thing in the world, but then again, so is Friends not that good English. Good, Harry. It's just...
Your English is gooder than a lot of people's.
But I'm just saying, grinding for mats or crafting, it has its own type of reward.
I agree.
And if you really hate it, you don't do it.
Agreed. But the real point of the article is Bungie is not dropping the ban hammer. Is that a bad thing?
I have no idea how prevalent this problem is, and I think Bungie would be better off fixing the exploits than to antagonize the players. I think they realized, just with the loot cave thing, players found this out, and some of them really made an actual job of doing that. Can you actually punish them for finding something like that in the game?
I think
is it something you really...
The hard line, Harry, that you're looking at, though, is that this was a known exploit that was very well publicized, and that people were doing not as an oops, we happen to do this, but it was a concerted effort by, I'd probably say, based on my token research, a large minority of the players who were specifically using this and exploiting this tactic to circumvent the mechanics of the game. And I think that's where it gets. If it was just an oops and it was a small thing, but the fact that people had to rip out their connection.
Let me flip the argument. Let me put it this way.
Okay.
If people feel they need to do this to get something of value out of the game, let's just forgo the entire rant I just did. Then it's on Bungie to make the game fun enough so people don't want to do that. And I agree with you that if people are cheating like that, then that Bungie should fix that. But to actually punish players who feel, and let's not forget, in the case of Destiny, the RNG was actually the entire game of Destiny feels like a personal enemy. It's not a game that does its best to welcome you and shower you with loot. I've had so many matches in that game that I was the number one. I had the best kill score in a multiplayer match, and I got nothing. And several times over, people who had no kills, who had no score, got purple loot from doing basically running around getting killed, being a target, being a victim. And I'm not saying, and this is not to say about the bad players. It's the system is bleep ready f***ed up.
Yeah.
So if the loot drops are that frustrating and people find that they only have this way of getting at least some reward out of the game, and I think Bungie should not punish people but actually fix the game and make it fun.
Well, I think there should be some. I'm sure they could look at the logs and see players who did this repeatedly, and I think that there should be some sort of maybe they roll them back, maybe they strip some gear, not ban, but there should be a way to remove the benefits that these players got when there's other players who were doing it the right way who now have could make an argument that I wouldn't necessarily agree with, that their experience, their time put into the game was less worthwhile. It is completely. Like I said, I'm not necessarily sure, but that argument could be made, and it wouldn't be totally wrong.
Yes, it would be totally wrong. If you say, if your argument is, and I'm not saying it, but if it sounds like you're saying, and I'm not saying you believe it, but you are playing devil's advocate, saying that somebody could say, okay, I played the raid the right way. I invested 20 hours with my friends and I got the loot. Now these folks woke in, they pull out their core, they get the loot too. That totally invalidates my experience. That's bullshit. Because, sorry for the bleep again, because you actually, if you, again, then it goes back to my first rant, if you didn't enjoy doing the 20 hours to get the raid and beat the thing, then you are stupid for doing it.
Yeah.
The journey is the reward, not the reward. The reward is not a reward.
I agree. All right, let's get to our next story. Our last story, in fact. Is WoW considering buy-to-play? Some data mining, and this is from a blog called Superior Realities, superior-realities.com, found via Massively. Did a little bit of data mining, and there's apparently a new account type that Blizzard is popping into the code there that's called Veteran. And this is a purely speculative blog post, but it goes down one path, which is that Blizzard could look at having players who have a lapsed subscription still be able to continue to play the game with this veteran account status with severe limitations. What those are, I mean, he mentions a couple of them here. Maybe it could be something like the free accounts that can only get to level 20. Maybe it's you can only do one character and you only get a certain amount of dungeons per week, or one raid, or something like that, and some sort of limits on the account. And I think it really brings up that, plus the idea of this new Plex-like system where Blizzard is considering allowing players to buy game time for in-game gold, basically circumventing gold selling, although even in games that do that, there still is gold setting. I think for everything gold selling except for Eve, because you can often get gold for cheaper than what it is to buy it for the official way to do it. So anyways, I mean, this is an interesting thought. WoW is very long in the tooth. It has been around for a while. It needs to find a way to keep people playing and keep those numbers up. Do you think this is let's not say whether or not it's likely, because I don't think that's a worthwhile. Do you think this would be a positive change for WoW if this happened, Harry?
What I would like to see and what I would think is a positive thing, let's say your account lapses and you can still log in. Everything works except XP.
Oh, yeah.
So that means if you are at level cap, you won't get XP, but you can still raid. You can still do your dungeons, do everything else, but you won't get rep and you won't get XP. Which means that you would, from Blizzard's point of view, still there. From Blizzard's point of view, you've already paid your dues, literally, because you've paid all the way up to level cap, and now they're just saying like, okay, we understand you want to stay hanging around, keep in touch with your friends, and pay again for the next expansion. And if you are stuck at 75 or whatever, and you still log in a couple of times just to see your friends, it's not no skin of their nose. It's no problem for them. So I think something like that would be a very honest way of keeping people into the game and entice them to play some more and maybe even pick up the subscription again without punishing them for lapsing.
What about limiting number of characters that a person could access?
I would hate that, and I think that, I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't do that because they know more about the economics of it than I do.
Right.
I would just say my theory would be to have a veteran status of being able to play without progressing. I mean, I would say progress gear and everything else just as it is, just no XP and no reputation.
Yeah, that's another argument has been made that this account status might be for rewards. People who are subbed for a certain amount of time become veterans. The longer you sub, the better your rewards. I think Final Fantasy 14 does that.
I believe that EverQuest does this. They had veteran status for all their games back when they had the station access. I don't know if Final Fantasy 14 has that. I'm not sure. I've not played in a while. Stop it. I'm gonna play it again. Deathly Silence. MMO Reporter Game of the Year 2013.
Yep.
But I think it's a good thing if they are more open to people and to. World of Warcraft has been moving towards a more laissez-faire state anyway. I mean, the game, as Bill so eloquently explained to us last week, allows you to raid without playing. You get epic loot without running dungeons.
Which reminds me, I need to log into my garrison.
Yeah, but I've written about this for a Dutch newspaper. It's almost like the game is maturing at the same pace that its players are. Just like you mentioned before when you said that the players aren't asshats anymore.
Hey, hold on, wait a minute. Did you give Bill his cut of your salary for that story? If it's basically his idea that you
I wrote
stole?
the story before. No, I wrote the story weeks before he said that.
Oh, sure, you say that now.
I tweeted a picture of the full-page article, so I have proof.
Proof?
Yeah, you're silent now,
I'm sorry. I come from the Fox News school of lack of proof.
We don't need proof.
That's right.
If it's a feeling I have, it's proof enough.
I don't need no stinking proof.
If you're scared, then I did my job. That's the way of Fox.
All right.
Okay.
Keep going, Harry.
Anyway.
Finish your thought.
Don't
let me interrupt you.
No, the thought was the game was basically just getting more mature with its player base. And the amount of time you invest now is a lot lower than it was back 5-6 years ago. And that makes it playable for somebody with a job. And I think the next step of having something of an open window for people to... between sub and not subbed, I think would be fantastic.
Next thing I need an iOS Garrison Manager or Android. Just an app.
You would pay a subscription for that, wouldn't you? Just the app.
I probably would.
$10
You could
a month.
totally
Just
get a
Garrison
nice,
access.
a nice little mini Garrison game going on that could benefit your in-game stuff. It could be you'd have to have a regular in-game subscription to access it, and it could be fun.
I would, but this is something that all MMOs that I know of had at some point or other the promise of a mobile app that allows you to either chat in game or in Eve's case set skills, or in World of Warcraft manage your characters, do some auction house trading. Well, I think auction house trading is something you can actually do in World of Warcraft. But it's never been this big thing that I hoped it would be, to have this ability to log into your game and participate in a meaningful way without just actually logging in.
Guild Wars 2 talked about it the most. They never did. Never did. No. Makes
I've
me
talked
sad.
about it with them. Yeah, and they never gave me a clear answer about that either.
No.
Lotro also promised at least an API for accessing your...
closed down the API because there used to be Lotro Herald. I used to have Lotro Herald. We had him on the show a couple times.
Right, yeah. But that was basically just a character viewer, right?
Correct.
Wasn't that?
Yeah. You couldn't actually access anything, but it would have been nice to be able to access if you could have.
Sorry, Gesundheit.
Yeah. Hurtbolt. However you say it.
Isn't it just Hitbolt?
No, Harry. That's like saying it's mithril. No, mithril. Thank you very much.
It's mithril. It's just mithril.
No.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's not as
I have been a host. I have been a host of Lotro Reporter. I understand completely the importance of correct pronunciation of Sindarin.
It's so. When I was watching the Lord of the Rings movies, when Christopher Lee said Mordor, every sentence, like when you go to Mordor, please just Mordor. You don't have to
Mordor.
Just shut. I mean, I know you were Dracula, but you don't have to rub it into our face.
The other thing that was surprising was their mispronunciation of mithril.
It's just mithril. It's always been mithril.
Yeah, whatever. All right, I think we're done talking about WoW because we've moved on to other stuff now. Let's talk real quick about our contact info. If you want to contact us, you can get a hold of us at MMOreporter.com. You can check us out an email at send us an email at MMO.reporter. Check us out via email at MMO.reporter@gmail.com. Send us a Facebook message.
Do we have a Tinder account?
We do not have a Tinder. No swiping right. Thank you. Facebook.com/MMO Reporter. Twitter at MMO_reporter. Harry is at Harry Hall. Layanor's at Layanor. Bill is at MMO Bill. Our voicemail is, of course, 616-666-6778. And YouTube at youtube.com/MMO Reporter Network. Harry, great show. It was fun.
Yeah. See, we can do it. We can do it. Yes, we can.
We had lots of space to discuss because we didn't have to let anybody else talk.
There are some advantages of having the floor all to yourself.
That's right. Long-winded comments were made tonight. Harry, it was fun. Thanks.
It was.
Really
Thank
enjoyed
you.
it. And of course, thanks to, we had a few people in the chat room. They did not talk, at all. As you can see from our video here, my chat is the only one there, but there were a few people that popped in and out. So thanks for coming out and checking out the show. And of course, thanks to all of you for downloading the podcast week after week. We really, really appreciate it. It is absolutely fantastic that you continue listening to the show and supporting the MMO Reporter Network. Thanks for downloading the show, doing everything that you do so that we can do what we do. We hope that you download the podcast again next week, but most importantly, we hope to see you in game.
Don't forget about your alts you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your alts you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at.
I couldn't remember my harmony there for a minute.
Well, you've got it.
Don't forget about your alts. You need to cherish each. That's you.
I just can't.
Every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Thanks for watching the video, everybody. Don't forget to check out all the other podcasts at MMOreporter.com or by clicking on any of the links here. And please check out our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MMOreporter. Thanks, everyone, and see you in game.